Hello everyone. We have a very unfortunate update that everyone in America must be aware of. I'm not sure how this is not breaking news all over the place, but if you missed it, pay attention.
U.S. Border Patrol is concerned over Venezuela's most dangerous gang crossing into the United States, with law enforcement arresting members from Texas all the way to New York. Jorge Ventura is with us now. Jorge, how have these gang members become such a problem, and just how dangerous are they?
Well, good morning, Marky. Well, the Trinidad Agua gang is Venezuela's most dangerous gang, and according to federal officials, members of this gang are taking advantage of the ongoing border crisis and entering the country illegally. Now, according to U.S. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens, Border Patrol agents arrested this man on the Texas border, a Venezuelan national and a known member of the Trinidad Agua gang. According to Owens, Trinidad Agua gang is known for murder, drug trafficking, sex crimes, and more. And in New York, another member of Trinidad Agua gang was arrested, Venezuelan national Yerben Lozada Munoz was taken in Friday by ICE agents. He was previously arrested in March for allegedly squatting in a home filled with guns and drugs. And a few weeks ago in Chicago, agents arrested another member of the Trinidad Agua gang. Aldelves Rodriguez Carmona is accused of being involved in a drive-by shooting. He entered the country illegally in 2022 in Eagle Pass, Texas. And an immigration lawyer who works with Venezuelan migrants says that these gang members are everywhere, and many of his clients have been threatened by them.
The Trinidad Agua is operating in all of our cities at this point. I take pictures of them, I send it to law enforcement, and I'm notifying all other governmental agencies when I get information on these people. But they're operating in Houston, they're in LA, they're, like you said, they're in Chicago, New York, Miami, they're everywhere.
Now, this comes as Florida senators like Marco Rubio and Rick Scott are urging the Biden administration to formally designate the Trinidad Agua gang as a transnational criminal organization, Mark.
Let's see how long it'll take for that designation to happen. Now, this attorney just made a shocking allegation that this gang is currently active, not in all major cities, but in all cities of America. We all know gangs are bad, but think of this gang as the MS-13 of Venezuela. They have no regard for human life. They can easily kill you over a cell phone or a pair of shoes or maybe some jewelry, and then go on about their day like nothing ever happened. Maybe grab some lunch or dinner, go hang out with their friends, or start another shift later on or the next day or the next week and move on. These people are worse than animals. Yet, this is what Joe Biden has allowed into this country. But not only Joe Biden, though. Remember all of those sweet and caring Democrats that have told us that they are just poor and sweet and heartbroken asylum seekers. And now we have one of the most notorious South American gangs establishing their network all over our country. There is no doubt that freeloaders will heavily affect the economy of sanctuary cities that were already struggling to begin with. Despite that, now the entire country has to worry about gang members and terrorists, since that is exactly what we needed, more problems. Consequently, a lot of you guys have requested for me to send my videos to congressional leaders, and I have. But remember what I told you, I am a one-man band. You guys have more power than me or anybody on any of these social media platforms will ever have. And that is why I am placing the Find Your Congressional Representative government website link in the description of this and all of my videos. From there, you can easily find your representative. You can send them my videos or any videos I have referenced and your message. Your voice and vote has tremendous power, and they don't want you to know that. There is nothing that can't be done if we raise our voices as one. Okay, before I continue with the video, please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the algorithm so that more people can watch these videos. That being said, for today's episode, I will be going over a couple of reports from two Spanish networks. One shows us migrants complaining about their experience here in America, in addition to the shelter smelling bad. Yes, that is correct. And then another one is about a situation that happened at the Mexican and American border with about 500 migrants. And guess what? Mexican authorities were injured by these sweet and heartbroken migrants. Can you believe it? But why does that even matter since that happened on the Mexican side? Well, a lot of those migrants ended up somewhere. I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but I'm sure you probably already figured out where they ended up going. Let's get started. For the record, this report is from 2 weeks ago, but it is still relevant, being that it is still happening today. All right, guys, so this is what the journalist is saying here. At 5 months pregnant and with 22 years of age, Yalimar Perez is not the typical woman that lives on the Skid Row streets in LA. She is a Venezuelan migrant that came here 2 months ago, and she's part of the huge number of migrants that are homeless. So the question is, did you have to pay at the shelter? And the migrant says, yes. After the month, we had to pay, and we have no money. In fact, my mom started working yesterday. The journalist proceeds. A lot of these migrants came via bus that frequently come from Texas. You see what the journalist is doing there? It's not Yalimar's fault for coming here pregnant, unprepared, and without money. It's Texas' fault for sending them here. Ridiculous. Let's continue. Miguel the migrant says, it is impossible to live there. I cannot put my kids to live there and sleep on a mattress that smells bad. He actually said that the mattress has an unlimited amount of smells. In other words, the shelter smells like you know what. You get me, he says? That's why I'd rather them sleep in the car. The journalist continues, they are sleeping on the sidewalk and surrounded by danger, in addition to other homeless doing drugs in this area and dirty streets. All of these migrants confirm to us that they regret coming here. And this is Jennifer, a Venezuelan migrant, who is crying, and she says that it is not easy. We never imagined it to be like this. Never. Nobody ever told us the reality. Everybody told us fairy tales and never the truth. So yes, they lied to us. The journalist says that the county indeed assisted some families and placed them in hotels, but other families that couldn't go and have no income are living in the tents. And here we have the journalist in front of the tent with Yalimar and, I am guessing, Yalimar's child in the background. And the journalist is telling us that the migrant lives here with 5 adults and 5 teenagers. So in total, 11 people sleep in that tent. In essence, more homeless people in America. What a fabulous job you Democrats have done. The journalist states that the shelters are overwhelmed, but the county did say that families that have minors are assisted immediately. Just yesterday, they gave shelter to 21 adults and 31 children, all migrants. Then the journalist finalizes the report by saying that these migrants don't know what is ahead, but Yalimar hopes to find a shelter so that her baby is not born on the streets of LA. Please let me know what you think about this story. If you thought California was already bad, imagine now. Let's go on with the next report. And by the way, this report is from 1 year ago. Still, I am showing it to you because at the end, we will see where these migrants went. This journalist says that chaos erupted in Chihuahua when Mexican authorities removed 500 protesting migrants. And these migrants burned their encampment. This occurred near the Bravo River by the American and Mexican border. And here we have the journalist that was present during the situation. And he says, you see that pole behind me? Yesterday, it had a huge Venezuelan flag and it was surrounded by tents. Now, there is nothing, only authorities. But let's see what happened yesterday in this area. And here you see all of the Venezuelan migrants protesting. And this guy in the red jacket is saying, we just want peace. No, say no to violence. All we want is peace. The journalist says that is the message that this Venezuelan migrant had towards the Mexican authorities. However, a few minutes later, himself was the one that ended that peace. You see, he used gasoline to burn the encampment that they were living in. And you see him right there saying, burn this SOB, burn it, SOB, burn all of this. And he's cursing in Spanish. The journalist continues. This was the removal of around 500 Venezuelan migrants who were encamping here for about a month and a half when Title 42 went into effect. Remember, this was about a year ago, okay? So the migrants were protesting, and there you see them going at it with the Mexican authorities. The journalist says some Venezuelan migrants with lighters started burning the tents and were throwing a bunch of stuff to the Mexican authorities. You see it right there, the things flying around, and some of the officials were hurt. Somebody was cut open with a rock, and another one was actually stabbed or sliced with a knife. Look at that. They haven't even entered America yet, okay? Then the journalist says, one of the tents was burning so bad that the authorities had to throw it into the river. On the other side, on the American side, the journalist says there was a security line formed by troopers, CBP, the National Guard, and El Paso, Texas police. Meanwhile, some migrants were fighting, others were burning tents still, and they were causing large amounts of smoke that was visible from various points of the border. Eventually, the authorities were able to remove the Venezuelan migrants. This official says, we invited them since 8 a.m. to go to the shelter, and they have their right of freedom. So from what I'm getting is that the Mexican authorities invited them to go to the shelter and they refused. Anyway, then we have this female migrant. She's telling this official, you don't imagine what we have gone through. And he says, yes, you're right. I don't even imagine what you have gone through. The journalist says, this is how things looked at the end. 500 Venezuelan migrants were removed. 2 officials were injured. 2 migrants were detained, and 6 tents were burned. And here's the kicker. Ready? Only 34 migrants accepted to go to the shelters. The other ones stayed on the streets. Now, he says, the Mexican authorities are staying in the area to prevent this from happening again. And this is the part that I wanted you to see. Here, the journalist is saying, look, a lot of the migrants that refused to go to the shelters, which were the majority, are now coming here since very early, and they are crossing into the United States. Then the journalist finalizes the report and says, well, at least on this side, there will no longer be migrant encampments because the Mexican authorities will remain here on a permanent basis. So what do you think? It's obvious that those were violent thugs. Now, that was a year ago, give or take. Fast forward to today, we're being told that, hey, the Venezuelan gang members are already here. You see how it is all connected. Guys, thank you again for watching this video and for your amazing support. I am incredibly grateful. The shout out for the exclusive supporters of this channel is in the description of this video. As usual, don't forget to follow me on X, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. The invite link is also in the description of this video. Finally, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, please share this video with at least one person. And let me know what you think in the comment section below.